For those who own the Broken War, you should already know how powerful that weapon is. But what if I told you that there's another competitor that can possibly outperform a lot of melee weapons out there? This is the Pangolin Prime, a rather new weapon that was released alongside Titania Prime and Corinth Prime. This is my take on the Pangolin Prime build. If you came here just to check out the build, you can refer to the timestamp shown on the screen right now. Before we start with the video, I just want to say, if you guys found this video informative, then be sure to hit that subscribe button to see more of this kind of content. A lot of people watch videos without subscribing to the channel, so it will be really nice of you to just hit that very nice red button over there. So I have two builds for you guys. One of them is going to be your average melee 3.0 build, but the other one is going to be for those who don't like to rely on your combo counter. If you want to have a more consistent experience with the Pangolin Prime, this build is for you. Now, let's get started. First of all, I want to go through some very important things about the Pangolin Prime. It has the second highest base damage of all swords. This base damage thing might not be so important to most of you, but when you factor in critical multipliers, it's going to matter a lot. The Pangolin Prime has 26% critical chance, 2.2 times crit multiplier, and 30% status chance. All of these stats are above average. You might be thinking, this is all too good to be true, right? Well, there's more. This weapon mainly deals slash damage, which is going to synergize really well with viral damage. If you didn't know, viral damage will amplify damage done towards health. This viral damage we're talking about here also affects your slash damage. That's not all. The Pangolin Prime also has a 3 out of 5 Riven disposition, and best of all, the two builds I'm going to be featuring today are going to be zero Forma builds. The Pangolin Prime comes with 2 V polarities, which means you can already throw in Condition Overload and Blood Rush without having to worry about formatting the weapon again just to get another V slot. Anyway, I don't want to keep you all waiting, let's just get straight into the build. First of all, let's take a look at the OP stuff, which is basically your average melee 3.0 build. First of all, we have Condition Overload. This is going to be our main source of damage. It increases 120% melee damage per status type afflicting the target. So right now we have 4 elements on our build, which is going to be the IPS and viral damage, which means we're going to get up to 480% maximum increase in melee damage. That is if you can land all 4 status types on the enemy, which is why we have Weeping Wounds. The higher your combo counter, the more status chance it provides. We also have Blood Rush here for the same reason as well, but for crit chance instead. Again, the way it works is the higher your combo counter, the more crit chance it provides. When you have Blood Rush, it's a must to have Organ Shatter in the same build. It simply increases your critical multiplier, which means more DPS. And then we have Berserker, which increases your attack speed whenever you land a critical hit. Because this weapon has so much critical chance out of the box, you are going to proc your Berserker within a few hits. With the help of Blood Rush, you don't even need to worry about your attack speed because you're going to get crits almost 100% of the time. And then when you get your combo counter high enough, you will land into orange crit territory again 100% of the time. Next, we have Vicious Frost and Virulent Scourge to make up viral damage. Now, some of you may think that if you have Weeping Wounds, you don't need 60/60 mods in here. The reason why I needed these 2 dual stat mods is because I can reach an even higher status chance. When you have more than 100% status chance, you are able to land 2 status types at the same time. Because we want to get to 10 viral stacks as soon as possible, if we have a high base status chance already, Weeping Wounds is just going to help us to easily reach more than 100% status chance and possibly 200%. The only drawback to this kind of setup is that you have to maintain a combo counter, and it's damn hard to do so. Without mods like Drifting Contact or Body Count, it's going to be pretty hard to maintain a combo counter. But again, that is the drawback of using such a build, which is why you can replace Primed Reach with any other mod that you want. If you want to maintain your combo for as long as possible, you can replace Primed Reach with Drifting Contact, or if you want to replace it with any other mod, go ahead and do so because this is a flexible spot. But the reason why I chose to use Primed Reach is just because I can hit enemies further away and giving me a more fun experience. It's also to make this weapon not so boring when you have so little range to work with. And that is pretty much it for the first build. As you can see in the clip shown, you can deal a lot of damage using this build, especially when you're surrounded by many enemies. Because this weapon can deal so much damage, you don't even need to worry about not killing them, or more accurately, taking too much time to kill an enemy. This weapon can easily hit up to the 50k damage regions and possibly even higher. If you have a few gladiator mods in your sentinel, you can even reach up to 250,000 damage. Although this was what I noticed during my testing, I'm not sure about what you guys would see when you use this build for yourself, so I can't guarantee that. Next, let's take a look at the Combo Hater build. Of course, the build names are just a joke, but still, this is made specifically for those who are not going to rely on Blood Rush and Weeping Wounds. Or if you just don't have those mods, you can use this build. Or maybe you're looking for some kind of novelty build for the Pangolin Prime. So I'm not going to go through the mods that are unchanged from the previous build, which are going to be Condition Overload, Berserker, Villainous Scourge, Vicious Frost, and Organ Shatter. I've already covered those, so we're gonna move on to the other 3 mods I've changed. First of all, let's take a look at Sacrificial Steel. This Umbral mod is going to increase your crit chance all the way to 83.2%. The good thing about using such a mod is that you're gonna get a more consistent experience with your critical hits. However, you're not going to go into orange crit territory like the first build because of the lack of Blood Rush. So this is going to be more of a you're going to hit crits most of the time but not 100% of the time kind of a weapon. But still it's pretty good. I could have added Sacrificial Pressure in here, but it just cannot beat Condition Overload for its usefulness. I mean, let's just be honest here. If you have Condition Overload, it's going to replace all of your damage increasing mods for sure. Unless you're trying to work with a heavy attack build, then that's a different story. Let's take a look at Volcanic Edge. The reason why I added another 60-60 mod is just to bump up my Silas chance to 84% and giving us another element to work with. Because we have heat damage in the build right now, it's going to give us some armor removal potential for this weapon. If you didn't know, heat damage will reduce 50% of the enemy's armor in 2 seconds. So it is useful when you're dealing with some corrupted enemies that are heavily armored, like you know, those heavy gunners and bombards. Yeah, you know. So now we have viral and heat damage in our build, which is going to give us a little bit of DOT and some damage amplification going on. Finally, let's talk about Buzzkill. This mod basically increases your slash damage. I don't really know how to put this in words, but this is the reason why I chose to put Buzzkill in this build. When you have Buzzkill, it's going to significantly increase your slash damage. When you have this much, factor in critical chance and viral damage. That's going to give you even more slash damage in the end. If you notice that, there was 40,000 slash damage. That is a lot, which is why this build is also very viable in most missions. If you ask me, which one is going to be a more fun build, I would say it's this one. Because it gives you a much more consistent experience compared to the first build, which heavily relies on Blood Rush and Weeping Wounds. Whereas this build is going to have straight out 80+% crit chance and Silas chance. But then, which build is more expensive? It's going to be, well, this one, the second build. As you can see, it took me so much credits and endo to max out this Sacrificial Steel mod. And then for Buzzkill and the other elemental mods here, well, that's also another whole level of grind. So if you're willing to go for it, I would recommend this build for you all. But if you just want to get a good build straight away and just hop on into another mission, then just get the first build because that one is already so good. And plus, the first build is way more scalable compared to this one. So there you go. And that is pretty much it for today's video. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching. If you guys liked it, then be sure to leave a like, write a nice comment, and please consider subscribing. If you guys want to support me, then be sure to check out my Patreon page. The link is in the description below. Once again, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you guys in another video. Goodbye.